Why the lumber shortage, and what can contractors do about it? The buzz around a lot of projects lately has been about the shortage of lumber we're experiencing. Materials that used to be plentiful everywhere are now taking weeks, and now you have to pre-order them. In this video, we'll discuss what caused the shortage and how it affects you getting paid. While material delays are common on custom builds, they're far less common when it comes to basic framing lumber, and this is the first time that many contractors have been unable to get basic materials. According to one estimate, the lumber shortage is adding $14,000 to the cost of home construction. So what's causing the lumber shortage? The shortage of material came on the heels of one of the most dramatic slowdowns in the construction industry. When contractors were finally able to get back to work, they found a ton of projects for the taking. They began signing contracts and lining up materials, only to find themselves in the middle of a significant lumber shortage. According to Census Bureau data, which tracks building permits and starts on a monthly basis, residential construction in July jumped almost 20% from June. The reality is that the COVID-19 shut down the industry in ways unexpected. As social distancing became a requirement, many non-essential workplaces closed their doors while the virus spread across the country. The shutdown included lumber mills across the US, which caused a drop in lumber production naturally. But it wasn't just American lumber mills that were shutting down. The majority of American lumber actually comes from Canada, which experienced the same social distancing and work reduction as the US. We also get a lot of our lumber from countries like China and Germany, two of the countries hit hardest by COVID-19. When you add up all of these factors, it's not hard to see why there may be fewer materials available for contractors. However, fledgling lumber production isn't the only reason for the shortage. Americans weren't just sitting at home and shutting their blinds during the COVID-19 shutdowns. Many homeowners took it as an opportunity to tackle some projects they've been putting off. Most home improvement and hardware stores, as well as lumber yards, were able to stay open. Homeowners were lining the parking lots with half-ton pickups and loading them full of framing lumber, pressure-treated wood, and other materials. The DIY craze created a perfect storm of scenarios that developed into a major lumber shortage. It can be next to impossible to find enough of the most common materials to complete a project. So how to get paid during a lumber shortage? You can't make a forest grow fast enough to end a lumber shortage. The lumber mills have to ramp production back up to increase the supply, which is unpredictable at best. There are a few ways that you can get paid during a lumber shortage, however. If 2020 has taught the construction industry anything, it's that we should be as flexible as possible. So 1, protect your pricing ahead of time. With a supply shortage comes price inflation, and inflation can destroy your profit margin. One way to protect your profit on a project is to get a job quote for materials. You might need to special order your lumber, but you can lock in your prices. You'll know what you're paying ahead of time, allowing you to provide an accurate and profitable quote to your customer. Number 2, try a different material. If you're lucky enough to find the lumber you need, the price will likely be through the roof. The cost of available lumber has risen as much as 60%. At that price, Doug fir and pressure-treated wood might be as expensive as many other wood species. Customers may balk at the increased job costs initially, but the reality is that pressure-treated just isn't available right now, and they'll have to deal with it and the increased cost of their project. 3, open up an account with new suppliers. If you're only operating through one material supplier, you're at a serious disadvantage. This may be the time to open up another account or 2 with some additional suppliers. Not only will you gain access to more lumber, but if other materials run short, you'll be in a better position overall. Number 4, change your contract structure. Most contractors are comfortable with fixed price contracts. Let's not pretend that they don't benefit contractors a bit, allowing them a little extra profit and markup on materials. Right now, however, might be a good time to expand your contract repertoire to include different types of contracts that give you more protection. Consider adopting cost plus or time and material contracts for the time being. They might be some of the best ways to ensure your business stays profitable during the shortage. So what to do if a shortage is causing payment delays? If you're already into a project and your material source dries up, you may find yourself waiting to get paid. While some force majeure clauses, often known as act of God clauses, may have provided a bit of protection regarding your deadlines during COVID-19 shutdowns, it's unlikely to help you with this shortage. You need to get paid for the work you've completed thus far. If your contract doesn't include an escalation clause, see if you can negotiate one. The property owner or GC doesn't want a price increase forcing you out of business in the middle of a project. If the owner or GC are blaming the payment delay on your lack of progress, you might have to take a firm stance. Sending a demand letter might be effective in convincing that it's time to pay you. You're requesting payment for work you already completed before the shortage's effect. This demand letter will make that super clear. Sending a notice of intent to lien, on the other hand, tells them that you're serious and willing to put a lien on the property. If they're unwilling to pay you for that part of the project you've already completed, A notice of intent can be the warning shot before you file a lien. Last, file a mechanics lien. If you're still having a hard time getting paid for work you've already completed, filing a mechanics lien might be your best option. Filing a lien against the property will get you the attention you need to get paid for the project. It would also help speed up the payment, as the owner doesn't want to lien on their property. To conclude, the lumber situation is out of our hands, and the best courses of action are to protect yourself and your business against increased costs by protecting your pricing ahead of time, using different materials, opening up an account with new suppliers, or changing your contract structure. If you're pushing for payment, some options you might have are opening the lines of communication, sending the appropriate notices, or filing a mechanics lien. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, consider subscribing.